everybody, and welcome to another segment of Out of Bounds. I'm here with the regular Friday Night Glory crew. Terrence Johnson, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Randy? What's going on, guys?
Riley.
What's going on?
Got Kenny Matthews.
What's happening, Boomer Sooner?
Matthew Davidson.
How's it going?
Bleak Wright.
What's up, y'all?
And Lauren Moore. What's up, Lauren?
Nothing much.
Then we got Taylor Mayer back at home base producing this whole thing. Like to thank him. All right. What a week though in high school football, huh?
Man, it's the fall weather.
But 599 yards. I mean, you don't see that every day. Talking about McKinney running back Matt Gadek.
Great game.
And
Herculean effort.
we just happened to have him on here later. So everybody stick around, and we're going to talk to Matt Gadek a little bit later. And, I mean, there's no mystery this week on the Offensive Player of the Week. That's McKinney running back Matt Gadek. 49 carries, 599 yards, and 6 touchdowns. I mean,
Unreal. 1 yard from 600.
Breaking records on top of records.
It's just crazy.
Breaks the record on his last carry of the game. 4th and 1, I believe.
And it was and the coach Smith had told him we're going into victory formation after this play. So you either get it here or you don't. And he busted off a 31-yard run. So, wow.
Storybook.
I mean, yeah, somebody needs to make a movie about that for sure.
Man.
Now let's move to defensive MVP. West Mesquite's Darian Forge, 11 tackles, 2 touchdowns on blocked punts. One he blocked solo and picked up and scored. Then he had a sack and a forced fumble. Not a bad game.
That's a beast.
Hey, man, those special teamers.
He deserved 2 helmets.
You a spy.
That's called imposing your will.
Always
That is.
the greatest special teams. Always.
Both of them, obviously, they're going to receive the Shut mini helmet with the Friday Night Glory DFW Player of the Week, presented by Gridiron Tech and Shut Sports. All right, everybody, we got a special guest now, Matt Gadek, McKinney running back. He did something a little special this past week. 49 carries, 599 yards. That was the official. Was that the official, Matt?
Yes.
And 6 touchdowns, and that's something that's never been done before in the state of Texas. So congratulations, and we appreciate you coming on here for a few minutes.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Something I wanted to ask is when you got there that night, I mean, were you feeling it? I mean, sometimes when you're ready for a game. I mean, how did you feel when you got to the stadium that night?
I mean, I just go into every game with the same mindset, just go there ready to work. I mean, it wasn't a different game for me. I just went in with the same attitude as I always do.
But how long into the game did you you kind of knew that you might really have a really big game? I mean, how long did it take?
Well, I mean, at halftime, one of my friends who wasn't playing showed me the stats, and he said I had 347 yards and 4 touchdowns at halftime, and I was like, okay, this is going to be a big night. But I had no idea about the state record until like the second to last play of the game when my coach told me.
And talk about those big guys up front. They had to have been having a pretty good game themselves.
Yeah, they had a super good game. There was dudes laying everywhere, I mean, it's fun to run behind those big guys because they do work and get the holes moving. It's just awesome.
Bunch of pancake blocks.
Yeah.
That night.
It's always nice.
Okay.
Nice.
Got Malik Wright here with us. Malik, what's up?
All right, what's up, Matt? First off, congratulations on your record.
Thank you.
First, all right. So it's about the team. I know what you're saying. Talk about your receivers, how they would help you downfield blocks and your O-line too.
Yeah, the receivers just, they didn't get one holding penalty. They didn't get one block in the back. They were really smart. They blocked the corners really well, blocked the safeties really well, and the O-line, just did work and got the holes open. It was just a really good night for both of them.
All right, and now, they opened all the hole, but what's going through your mind? You ran your foot, you ran all 599. What's going through your head that whole game? Did you ever get?
What was going through my head is Plano East kept on scoring, so we needed to keep on scoring to keep our heads in the game and keep on and be able to win the game. Because we scored every time we got the ball except for the last drive because we took a knee, but we would have scored again. I know we would, but
you would have just say it, yes sir. You would have took it right down. All right, and then how do you feel? How did you feel after the game, or when did your adrenaline run out?
My adrenaline never really ran out after the game because I was still really hyped because they announced the state record on the big announce speakers in the stadium, and I was just super hyped still. And my adrenaline kind of just started kicking even more, I think, because I was so excited.
It kept going. And then one more question. Now that's 49 carries. That takes a lot out of you. It would take a lot out of anybody. Playoff time is coming up. It's about to get cold. You ready to do that multiple times to get your team state?
I'm ready for whatever the team needs me for and whatever's best for the team. I'm probably not going to get 49 carries ever again in a game because that was just like a weird game because we had to keep on running the ball because it was working. But I can do 49 carries if they need me to. It just depends on the situation.
All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Good game.
Thank you.
Kenny?
Hey, Matt. Kenny Matthews, man. Outstanding effort the other day. All the hoopla and everything that came with it. How you been able to deal with all the media access so far after that?
There's been a lot of news reporters and stuff coming up to the school like the day after the game. It was kind of crazy. And I went on Rick Renner's show. I just kind of had to mentally prepare myself because I've never been like this. This many cameras pointed at me because I've been like a slept-on guy all through high school, and it was just kind of weird. But I feel like it was good for me and good for the team to get our school out there and stuff.
Yeah, I got home from the game on Friday night, and I turned on the show, and 5 minutes in, I said, man, that's Matt right there now. I said, he's had a fun-filled day, to say the least. I was also going to ask you, I said, with how you been able to deal with, just you had the tough game against Denton Geyer the week before where, they kind of shut you down rushing. I said, did you feel like you guys prepared a little bit better with the rushing attack in your practice leading up to last Thursday's game?
Yeah, we had to prove ourselves in the rushing attack because we kind of got stopped by Geyer. I think I had 20 rushes, 19 rushes for 84 yards. And the O-line was mad because they didn't have a good game. Running backs were mad because we didn't have a good game. And we just wanted to go out there and show that we could run the ball like we can. And it was just like a game to redeem ourselves and get back on the right foot.
Oh, my last question would be for you. How sore were you on Friday morning, and did you get any sleep on Friday morning?
I got 3 hours of sleep on Thursday night. I can't really sleep after games, how that usually works. And, I was pretty sore. I didn't really get hit that much that game, but, running a lot made my legs kind of sore. But
yeah, they definitely didn't touch you enough, man.
Didn't have to break a lot of tackles, did you?
Yeah.
Well, good deal. Congratulations, man. Appreciate you giving us a couple moments here.
Thank you.
Terrence?
Hey, Matt, congratulations. This is Terrence Jones here, FridayNightGlory.com. Not only was you breaking single game records, I think you hold a couple of records for the high school that night as well. I don't know if you're familiar with Dante Hickson. In 2000, he had a 415 yards, but you've seen him surpass that as well as his 6-game, TD rushing. You had 6 TDs on that night. But what I want to ask you, after the first half, you was at 347 yards. How was the locker room feel with the coaching, or was the game plan to come back out and keep pounding you as it seemed to work as your O-line was blocking for you?
Yeah, it was my coach said it was really hard halftime because it's kind of hard when we were up 28-0 at that point. I'm pretty sure 21-0. And my coach was like, all right, we're going to have to keep on doing what we're doing. We can't give up. We can't let up because these guys are going to try really hard. And they're going to come back and they're going to score. And we were like, all have that mindset. We have to keep on scoring and keep on getting the ball in the end zone so we didn't lose the game or give up a big comeback on these guys.
So was there any point in the game where they just loaded the box with an 8-man front to try to slow you down?
Yeah, during the fourth quarter they tried and they just couldn't.
They was out of gas. O-line,
Yeah,
just wore them out.
More tired at that point.
Track meet.
Okay. And also, how likely is it for you? You're on pace here to at least get 2,000 yards. You're at 1468, I believe. 532 away. 3 games remaining on McKinney's schedule to cap off this season to get that 2,000 yards. You have Allen, you have Wiley, you have McKinney, Bart. How likely is that for you to get that 2 Gs?
I mean, super likely if the offense keeps on doing what we're doing. The O-line keeps moving people if we keep on running like we can. And it's just going to kind of find itself, that 2,000-yard mark. If we get it, it's going to show itself. So I'm not too worried about that right now.
It's also great. I just want to leave with one more note, one more shattering record that you have broken. In 1998, I don't know, you're probably not familiar with this. You probably was 1 or 2 years old. Darrell Ellis from Somerville had 587 yards. So to be in the Texas high school football record books, that's pretty big because, Texas is a big place for football, usually for quarterbacks. But as a running back, what level do you see yourself on as you get to college? You want to just keep working, keep grinding, and try to be the best running back ever and maybe move on from there?
Yeah, the goal is to play Division I football like every high school athlete. That's the main goal. And, I'm just going to keep on working, keep on having that chip on my shoulder, not let anything get to my head. And I'm just going to keep on working and see where it takes me.
All right. Congratulations, kid. Nice talking to you. Thank you for your time there.
Thank you.
Well, Matt, we want to thank you for coming on, giving us a few minutes. And one last thing. Is there anything you want to say to your teammates, to the student body, to McKinney? All the fans, anything you would like to leave them with?
I'd like to say thank you to all the kids at the school. Thank you to all my teammates. Thank you to my family. Thank you for everything. Y'all have supported me through it all, and I couldn't have done any of this without y'all, and I couldn't have done anything without my big boys. I love them. They're my best friends, and that's what I have to say. I can't thank anyone enough for what happened that Thursday night.
You got to get them all PlayStations, man.
And,
yeah, I know.
I'd like to say
one more quick question, though. After you had school the next day, correct?
Yeah.
What was that like for you? What was that day?
Right.
You 600 yards, but you're in math class 7 in the morning.
It was kind of weird because my teacher said it in class and they people clap for me. It was kind of weird, and it was just I didn't really get to talk to that many of my teammates that day because I leave after 4th period and I had those interviews, and half of them didn't come to school because they were tired, I guess. And my parents made me wake up early and go to school. So.
Well,
yeah.
And all the D1 coaches out there, come on, take notice.
Yeah,
about to push 2,000 yards.
Soda, baby. Hey, we use a lot of running backs. Hey, we like running backs at OU, so keep your eyes open.
Okay.
We really appreciate it, Matt. And good luck to you the rest of the year, and we'll talk to you on down the line.
All right, thank you so much for having me.
All right, well, thank you.
Thanks, Matt.
Let's get back. Let's get into these games from last week and these games this week. What do y'all say?
Sounds good. Bring it.
Let's roll it.
We got Malik, Allen 45, Geyer 7, and that kind of Geyer's maybe like middle of the road team this year. They're not the normal Geyer team.
Yeah, but we definitely have the normal Allen team. 45 unanswered. complete shutdown of the running game. The guy couldn't throw the ball. Great defense. Great quarterback play for Allen. Just completely dominated every phase of the ball. There was never really a question on who was going to be the winner. Just a great game for Allen. Theo, the receiver Theo, about 2 touchdowns. Just the separation between the two, and their defense was so swarming on the Geyer's run game. A few weeks ago, Geyer gets 300 yards rushing coming in. A lot of teams were picking Geyer to upset Allen, and those boys took that personally on the defensive side, very personally.
I want to see who those people are, too. Because I saw them the week before you against Plano, and Plano, the first part of the season just rolling. And, I mean, it was more of the same.
Yeah, and with, like I said, with Allen's offense coming together, their offense was well balanced. And with the defense that good, I definitely think that they're, of course, and then being undefeated, they're Allen. But it's looking like one of the better Allen teams that I've at least seen.
I think
quarterback, still a junior quarterback.
Yeah, so Tisdale's been huge for them, man. Tisdale's had a heck of a year, kind of.
Huge.
Yeah, but what quarterback hasn't the last decade?
Yep.
Few explosive runs. He got a nice arm on him, and when he needs to get out there, he runs like a running back.
And this week you're going over to one of your favorite stadiums.
Oh yeah, we'll be welcoming with the people from Northwest ISD, seeing Byron Nelson versus Southlake Carroll. Spotlight TJ McDaniels, Southlake running back. He has 20 plus. He's gotten 20 plus carries in every game besides one. 3 200-yard games, 6 100-yard games. So I expect Southlake to pound it for the win.
What's your prediction?
I'm gonna say Southlake 35, Nelson 7.
Okay.
I just see Southlake's. I just see them pounding the ball. I love them. Daniel have the game.
Lauren?
So which under-the-radar school do you think has a chance to make a big run in the playoffs this season?
Under the radar school. Is it fair to say that Trinity is under the radar? I've seen them with a few.
They were under the. I would say they were at the beginning of the season.
Yeah,
the way they started.
Few good games this week. Big win on Southlake. They're running the ball well, playing tough defense. So I would say Trinity.
Okay, and your pick 6. Making y'all think again this week. Do some research. Argyle Liberty Christian at Bishop Lynch.
I got Bishop Lynch.
Oh.
Grapevine at Colleyville Heritage. Big game.
Ooh, I'm going to go with Colleyville.
PCA at Bishop Dunn.
Seen PCA earlier this year. Nice team, nice quarterback. I'm going to go with PCA.
Lamar and Bowie.
Oh, man, those Bowie Vols are turning the season around this week. Must win, big game, got to win out.
And now what's got to be the game of the week? Duncanville at DeSoto.
Oh, it's going to be a tough battle, but I'm going to go with the DeSoto Eagles defensively. I think it's their biggest test. Talking about having one state, going to win their first state title last year, and, of course, it will be their first ever repeat. I think this game is one that they need to mentally prepare themselves for that.
Well, and I would say these are two teams that can play with Allen, both of them.
Oh, definitely.
District.
Definitely.
And then,
the late season loss always hurts. No matter, even if with playoff secure, you're fighting for the 1 seed, your road's a little bit easier. So,
right. Well, not always. I mean, the way it is with the Division I and the Division II, sometimes now it's like.
Oh yeah.
I mean, in round 2, it's the last, like last year, and the second Southlake played DeSoto, and it's because the district, and then the year before Cedar Hill. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
and
not
also
an
you
easy
got to
second
take
round.
into account
for
it's on
either district.
Duncanville's side. They have a chance to take over the district. They knocked off Cedar Hill, so you think of Cedar Hill and DeSoto being the two top teams in the district.
Oh yeah,
knock them both down right now, man. What better year to do it?
Well,
and,
I think Malik's making a good point, because this year in 5A, if you win district, you get to host a game. You know, like 6A now. So that can be huge, winning the district, you know, hosting and not going to a neutral site. So,
and they're talking, if I read right, and y'all can tell me if I didn't, is it next year, even the second round in 5A, you get home field?
I thought it was just the lower divisions. They said 4A down, they were going to do that.
You might be right.
The following year, I think they're going to do it. That's what I read, but I didn't hear that we're going to do the second round. But yeah, I know the first round they're going to do it for 6A and 5A this year.
Then another really big game, Trinity at Hebron.
Like I said, Trinity staying under the radar. I'm going to go with them.
Okay.
The Trojans.
As under the radar as the Trinity team can be, I know they're some of the powerhouse and they're powerhouse in the area.
But I mean, you know what? They started 0-2 in the first game. 35-0.
Yeah. So big, and it's a big week of football. It's about to start getting cold. Big football.
Except Thursday night.
Okay, Lauren. Talk to me a little bit about that Southlake at Marcus game. Marcus game.
Yes. So the game started, and Marcus actually looked like they could give Southlake a run for their money. Went down. Rashid Noel threw a touchdown to Evan Green, who is a sophomore, and then just kept going through, scoring back and forth. During the fourth quarter, Southlake Carroll faked a punt, and that's what turned the game around. Marcus defense basically couldn't recover back from it. I think it just killed their confidence. And they just really, Southlake kept scoring, and Marcus couldn't keep up. I believe it was a 35.
Turned the momentum of the game, basically, huh?
Yes. So Justin Dinka was held to 70 yards, which is not very him. And then Xavier Maxwell, the quarterback, went in about the second quarter and had a 30-yard rush, which flipped some field position around. Really, looking at the game, it was more to the game than the stats, because both teams looked like they wanted it a lot in the first half, and then Marcus started to fade through the second.
So I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
What's a bigger game, the Battle of the Axe or Marcus and Flower Mound?
I'd have to say trash talk-wise, Axe. Competition-wise, Mound.
Okay. Well, Flower Mound at Marcus this week. What do you see?
Well, Marcus defense really has to get back to their lockdown ways, because you don't hold Mansfield to under 46 yards and then just keep letting it up in games after. And then the offense just needs to gain back their momentum, because when your quarterback's able to go for 30 rushing yards and your top running back, who has all the eyes in the world on him, was held to 70, your offensive line really got to step up and figure out a way to let Justin run a bit more. They really need to make sure they're watching out for Flower Mound's quarterback, Jackson Averett. By my understanding, he has been pulled from games the early third quarter because they've been up so much. So I think Flower Mound's confidence going into the game is a lot. So looking at the rivalry of Mound Showdown, Marcus has one axe and then lost 2 games in a row. And winning Mound will just help keep playoff hopes alive, because they'll win another game in district. And thinking of last year's game, it was a double overtime. Justin Dinka was out. Games running down. Then Flower Mound kept missing, or didn't keep missing, sorry. Flower Mound was unable to score on their second overtime drive. Justin Dinko put in some nice rushing there and set us up for a field goal to make it 48-45. So looking at it, it's really going to be a great game.
So let's see. You got Hebron, Trinity, South Lake, and so who is it? Marcus could be that fourth playoff spot, huh?
Mhm.
Right. Okay.
Yep.
They have a good chance for it. Confident, not cocky, is way
they
to think
control their
about it.
destiny for it. I mean, if they went out there, they got the fourth spot.
Right. That's what I thought.
Top 4.
So who do you think's running under the radar?
This one, it's actually on our pick sixes. Haven't really been talked about much, but it has to be Liberty Christian. I watched them the first game of the season, and I really like their defense. So I think they just have a chance to make some moves in playoffs. Yeah. So going back to it, I think obvious my pick is going to be Liberty. I really like their offensive line. They have a really good quarterback in Nate Hayden, who's got a very nice arm. They're a bit of a quieter team, don't really get much recognition, but I believe they're 5-2. Only 2 losses. I know one was about a 67-0 loss to a very good Gilmer team. I don't quite remember what the other one was. And
I
then
think it was just like it was a close game.
Yes, I'm pretty sure. Oh wait, it was Preston Wood. I think it was 14-7.
Right.
Yes. And so really just they're a team that they can get through it and push through. And I'm going to have to go with Colleyville. The fact that their only loss was to Aledo, who they were able to score on and stop them a little bit, really impresses me. And then I'm going to have to go with Prestonwood just because they have such a nice passing game. And then Bowie because they got to finally put some fire back in there. I'm going to have to go
Malik
with
agrees.
I'm going to have to go with DeSoto. They're top ranked in the nation now. They don't have Cedar Hill over there being a crosstown rival, getting under them. So I think really this is their year to shine. So they're going to have to take that advantage. And then I'm going to have to go with Hebron over Trinity. I watched Hebron 2 weeks ago whenever we played them, and wow, I don't think you can stop their offense. Clayton Toon has such an accurate arm that it's insane, and then defensive line was able to really put up some major blocks.
All right.
Like that.
Riley,
What's going on?
what's up? You saw a closer game than maybe we expected. Duncanville at South Grand Prairie last week.
Yeah, it really it really wasn't as close as the score made it look. I mean, Duncanville got up 28-7 in the first half, and they really just put in their backups. And South really, like the whole game, what happened was what I said was going to happen. South really struggled to move the ball, and that's been the story for them all year. I just don't think their offense is too one-dimensional. They just don't have what it takes to compete with teams like Duncanville and Minnesota. And I think they're going to struggle in the playoffs too. And Duncanville, they just played their game. Props to South for actually putting up double-digit points on Duncanville for the first time. I know East did it back in week 1, but I mean, look, Duncanville is a much better team. They showed it on Friday.
And you saw that exciting 48-0 win, Trinity and LD Bell. I mean, Trinity just seems to be getting stronger. I mean, more confident.
I wasn't at that game.
You weren't?
No, that was Matt.
That was Matt.
I thought y'all both were. Okay, Matt, you talk about it then.
Well, to go back to people saying that Hebron's got a high-flying offense, hey, well, Trinity's got a knock you in your face defense, so get ready. They got 3 fumbles against LD Bell, and they took those to the house. So get ready for that. Trinity plays a lot of defense and a lot of running the ball, and you'll see. They're going to make you play their game. That's what their motto is. They're going to make you, play their game. They're going to run, and they're going to keep on running until they can't run no more. And I think I think Trinity's going to do some things this year. I don't know if they're going to go to state or anything like they used to, but they might go 3 or 4 rounds deep, and they might wake some people up.
So what game were you at? What was your other game, Riley?
I was at the Skyline game on Thursday night.
Oh, okay. You want to talk a little bit about the Allen game?
The what game?
You said the Allen game?
Skyline.
Oh, Skyline.
Yeah, he was
You're
out there with me.
Terrence. Okay.
I was with parents.
That's right. You're out there with the Skyline Berkner. Now, that was a little closer than I expected. What did you think?
Yeah, honestly, like look, at the beginning of the game, I thought Bergner was going to run away with it. They got 2 quick touchdowns. Their running back was exceptional, and Skyline just really turned it up to the second notch in the second half, and they ended up winning that game.
And Bergner was coming off a pounding though. I mean,
yeah, that's what I saw too, and I really didn't expect much of a game. I thought Skyline was just to come out here, take care of business, and we would leave. But no, Bergner actually made it a really good game.
All right, now both you guys, Matt and Riley. Riley first. DeSoto, Duncanville.
The game that me and Matt have been looking forward to the entire year.
Right. I was going to schedule y'all on the schedule just on a different game, just to mess with y'all and put me and Kenny on DeSoto and Duncanville.
That would have been so funny.
I think me and Matt have been like the biggest believers in Duncanville all year. There's been people throughout the year doubting them, that saying that they haven't played anybody. But every game that I've gone to and covered Duncanville, they've impressed. When you have a defense that averages 8 points a game and an offense that averages over 40, you're gonna win games.
And I'd like to second that by saying that Duncanville, they have a great defense, and defense has always won championships in any sport that you look at. And I think that they have what it takes. They showed last year, hey, we're some young pups. We're out here playing against Allen. We didn't know we can do this. We kind of overachieved. This year, they're for real. So, we'll go ahead and see what they got against DeSoto. But if you're asking me to pick, gun to my head, I'll tell you in a second once it's time for that. But it's still a tough pick. Just know that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think they overachieved last year. I think they just had a bunch of juniors. And now they're seniors.
Mm-hmm.
So they're just better.
True that.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren, what do you got to ask these two guys?
So, which team do y'all think can make a big run in the playoff as an under the radar school?
Right now, the team that I'm going with is people are still sleeping on them. I'm going with Trinity. It's for the simple fact of they're in first place right now, and everybody's acting like they're in third place. This team's in first place, and they're going to beat Hebron on Friday. So we'll see about that.
We're not that far yet. We didn't ask you that yet.
That's just how I feel. I feel like Trinity's done enough to impress me. I mean, they got a nice defense. Unless I repeat, nice defense.
Okay.
I think Matt's pro Trinity.
Southlake put 20 on them in the first half, though.
But Southlake is Southlake.
Okay.
Southlake isn't the same Southlake they've been before, though.
That running back Southlake's got is.
We're talking deep run into the playoffs. Riley, what do you say?
Pretty good.
I'm gonna stick with what I know and say that Cedar Hill is gonna be a team to shock everybody and do something in the playoff. They're not the Cedar Hill that everybody knows this season. They're in. I don't even think they're in third place right now. I think they're sitting behind Grand Prairie and South. If I'm correct. And they have a chance to lose the games, but they're getting hot at the end of the season. I feel like they can beat South Grand Prairie and Grand Prairie, although those will be 2 really good games. They're a playoff tested team. I feel like they can do something in the playoff this year, given the chance.
I'd like to add to what Riley was saying. GP and Cedar Hill are tied for 4th place right now. They play on Friday night. Whoever wins is going to the playoffs, and that's it. It's over with.
Good pedigree.
That can be a great game. It's overshadowed by Duncanville and DeSoto this week, but that's a good game in this district.
Okay, Matt, your pick 6.
All right, so tell me the first one.
Argyle Liberty Christian at Bishop Lynch.
You see, I was leaning towards Argyle, but then I heard about, that loss they took earlier in the year. Bishop Lynch is Bishop Lynch. They're state championship type of team. They're going to take care of business.
State champs.
So they'll take care of business in that game. I got Bishop Lynch winning that one.
Grapevine at Colleyville Heritage.
I was going to lean with Grapevine, but I've looked at what they've done this year compared to Colleyville Heritage, and I'm going with Colleyville Heritage. I think Colleyville Heritage has just got too much, and it's looking good when you only lose to Aledo.
PCA at Bishop Dunn.
See, I got Bishop Dunn because Bishop Dunn, they always have good talent. I mean, I've seen kids from this area that have went to public schools that have transferred in there, and they've rebuilt that program. So, yeah, I got Bishop Dunn winning that. A lot of people would like to go with PCA because it's the easier pick, but I'm going to go with Bishop Dunn.
My dog does not know we're in the middle of shooting, so he's wanting some attention right here. Lamar at Bowie.
I got Bowie. Bowie just has too much. I think it's time for Bowie to let everybody know who they are, and I think they're at least the fourth best team in that district, which is super hard because all those teams are really good now. You got Martin, Mansfield, Arlington. All of them are star-studded teams. Now, Bowie just has to kind of hang in there. Bowie might mess around and get to the third round of the playoffs this year, but they got a bunch of young guns over there that are coming back next year.
Got to. Athletes got to shine. Give them big game experience.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And then when the Hebron and Trinity one?
You've already told us about it. We don't even need it, do we?
Well, Duncanville and DeSoto, I got, man, it's crazy. I got Duncanville winning by a field goal.
Okay.
And then we got Hebron and Trinity. I'm going to go with Trinity. I think Trinity wins by 10. I think their defense is just going to take care of business. Hebron does have a good offense. They will score. I'm not going to lie to you. They'll score some points. But Trinity's defense will make plays when it matters.
Yeah, but
They're
the difference
so clutch.
between Hebron's offense and the offenses Trinity's been going against is Hebron has a passing attack like crazy.
And they also have a killer rushing game.
In Southlake, really, I
That
mean,
you can't be
Cade Bell,
stopped.
that's their receiver.
Well, if I'll tell you what, if Hebron beats Trinity, I'll eat my sock, but I'm going with Trinity because I know that
next
I know
week.
that defense
Next
wins championships.
What do you think, Terrence?
Eat it. Stuff it in there.
Next week.
I think Hebron's going to pull that one off. Brian Brazel and them Hawks been flying lately.
Trinity.
Trinity. Agent juice to put on top of it, make it go down a little easier.
Trinity.
Riley. Argyle Liberty Christian and Bishop Lynch.
I'm gonna go with Bishop Lynch. They're a state caliber team, and I feel like they'll get the job done.
Grapevine at Colleyville Heritage.
This is a game that I looked at too, but it really stands out to me. Heritage's one loss is against Aledo. I mean that's looking like the story for most teams this year that I've researched. Is looking at these games.
But actually, they've probably played them better than anybody.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, they're a very impressive team. I mean, this game was really hard for me to pick, but I'm gonna go with Colleyville.
PCA at Bishop Dunn.
I think I'm gonna go with PCA in this one. I feel like they'll get the job done on Friday.
Lamar at Bowie.
Bowie's just too much on a downhill climate right now. I feel like Lamar will win this game. I've seen them play a couple times over the years, and I've always liked what they have at offense. Lamar, they have a really good two-dimensional offense, throw the ball really well, and they'll get the job done this week.
Duncanville at DeSoto.
I think y'all know my answer. I'm gonna go with Duncanville. In the second week of the podcast, I made the fat statement that Duncanville was going to win this district and they were going to go 10-0. And it was a crazy prediction then, but it's not looking too crazy now.
Sorry about that. My dog opened up the treat closet. We need another camera in here about what's going on all in next to me. Okay, Trinity at Hebron.
This game was a hard one for me to pick. Trinity's coming off a big win over their rival LD Bell, but I'm gonna go with Hebron. They have too much. It'll be a good game, but Hebron will come out on top.
Yeah, I think that's. If Duncanville and DeSoto weren't playing, that would be the game of the week, probably.
Yeah, there's a lot of good games this week. Look, there's 3 games this week that I can say if any other week it'd be the game of the week. But we got DeSoto and Duncanville battle the undefeated, so that'll be a great game to watch.
Terrence.
Hey.
Talk to me about your Skyline Raiders.
My presence was felt. We got that victory. The Skyline Raiders. No, but real talk. Yeah, Skyline had a good game against Richardson Berkner. As you heard Riley say earlier, the running back for ASU Self, that boy is a monster. He's a linebacker and running back, so he was dashing all up and down the field. But Skyline has a nice backfield too with Velton Gardner. He took the game on his shoulders. Kid threw for almost 200 yards and 120 on the ground, along with the carries. Lewis had 131 yards rushing. So Velton Gardner is the really strength of that Skyline team. They make me nervous a lot, but they do play 4 quarters of football, and if you don't stop, Velton Gardner, you won't stop Skyline. Just like Jesuit did. They was neck and neck with Skyline until the end. But I don't know about Skyline right now. They need maybe a little more defense, a little more spunk to that defense. But Velton Gardner's the man over there. He got wheels.
And what did you see in that South Lake 35-21 win over Marcus?
Just a resilient South Lake team. Of course, the 1-2 punch of Will Bowers and TJ McDaniel. McDaniel had 155 yards on the ground, 2 TDs, but really it was coaching in that game. Hal Watson put a trick play together that kept them boys alive. Their defense stood pat on 4th and 1, 4th and 5, got big stops on Marcus. I mean, I'm used to seeing Justin Dinkel just from knowing him this year. They shut him down. I mean, the defense were resilient. Our Friday Night Glory defensive player of the week, Ryan Thompson, was putting on. I mean, the whole defensive squad was just killing it out there on the field. And, like I say, great coaching with Hal Watson made that victory possible. They have Trophy Club this week. That should be almost a cakewalk for them. But I think Hebron may give them their best match the last game of the season.
I think so, too. And then you've got a game that some weeks would be the game of the week. Lake Ridge at Mansfield Legacy.
Yeah, Legacy and Lake Ridge. This will be my first time seeing Legacy. I pretty much know about Lake Ridge. They're resilient. Played Lancaster real good. Chandler Rogers has got a nice rocket over there as an arm. Last week, he was 15 of 16, 236, 4 TDs in the air. They just blew out Midlothian 52-7. I mean, they're 4-0 in district. Both of these teams actually 4-0 in district. So this is going to be
it's huge game. It's
just pretty good one.
District championship.
Yeah, district championship for the Broncos. Legacy here. They knocked off Waxahachie last week. Barely 39-34. Waxahachie, that's my hood. That's why I was originally born. So I'm from everywhere. So I can go a little bit everywhere. So I go back home to Mansfield this week and see me some good high school football. Don't know too much about the Broncos, but from the looks of it, they mean business.
Well, Waxahachie had 17 yards against us my senior year, and their coach came over and said, "We're not playing y'all ever again." So,
well, they just
murdered us. All I got to say.
Them Indians.
I think Lauren's got a question for you.
Yes.
Okay.
So, which under the radar school do you think has a chance to make a run in the playoffs?
I'm gonna say Duncanville. I mean, they always there with Coach Samples. For some reason, when they get to the pinnacle,
they're not under the radar.
Yeah, to me, they are. Well, he is.
they're in the top 10 in the state.
They're under my radar.
You can't be under the radar if you're top 10 in the state.
Why not? Look, just look who you're head hunting.
No.
Yeah, you have to. 250 wins.
That's like saying Allen's under the radar. With
this is totally different. This is state of bus for this team.
It's like there's 4 teams in DFW and 6A, and they're one of them.
They under the radar. If they don't get it done, just think what those headlines going to say this year. That means nothing.
Tell us Skyline Raiders under the radar. Something.
Well, they got some work to do at Skyline. Just a little bit. Not a lot. Just a little bit. I mean, you have a program at Skyline that was big, had a lot of kids. Then when your main man leave, what you have to rebuild. I mean, 1 or 2 years, maybe 3 years, but I mean, they're young. They just don't have enough on the defense, I don't think, even if they got deep in the playoffs, because it's a lot of holes on that defense. mean, they got one good offensive player, but that's not enough the deeper you get in these runs when you play teams that are disciplined teams, well-coached teams. That's why I speak of radar with Duncanville. I mean, they're good, but you have to bring the ship sometime. You just can't be good and have your name around here and winning all these games. That's radar to me. I mean,
Do
little
you want me
teams
to
come.
give you the? You want me to give everybody the under the radar team that's got a chance to make a run in the playoffs, and then y'all will be good. Y'all can use that team from now on.
What's that team?
Jesuit.
Ah,
No,
you stole my thunder. Stole my thunder. You're supposed to be last.
They can move the ball on anybody. Okay, Kenny, your turn. And speaking of Jesuit, we saw the game of the week. Jesuit and
Yes.
Pierce, 38-31. To end the first half, Pierce, Bo Brewer throws a touchdown. I can't remember who it was to tie it up. And
Tied
then
it up to the Ashton kid.
to
Yep.
end the game, Jesuit scores with 11 seconds to win by a touchdown. So it was crazy.
Yeah. Our buddy, we've been touting for a while, Parker Towns again. I mean, he rushed for almost 100 yards that game. They get the ball with 5 minutes and 19, I believe it's 5 minutes and 29 seconds left. No, it's 5:19 left. And it's tied at 31. Got to go 75 yards. And they converted 5 third downs. 3 of those third downs were 3rd and 7 or longer. Fletcher Rosenbleef, the wide receiver, had 2 big catches on 3rd down. E.J. Smith converted 2 third downs rushing the ball. And Parker Towns converted 2 in another 3rd down by rushing the football. I mean, again, it's one of those games where it seems like Jesuit keeps getting them caught in those shootout games a little bit, but they just had just enough defense to win that game. But I want
but that's a Pierce team that just ran all over. What was it, Berkner the week before, wasn't it? Like,
yes.
Like 49-0 or something.
Well, I mean, Jesuit, again, we've already alluded earlier in other podcasts about their tough schedule. You can kind of see a little bit on that last drive. They now know kind of, when you play tough competition, you play in these games here, you don't quit. And there was some fight in that dog a little bit there. And they milked that clock perfectly. Think about it. Because Pierce was getting some traction offensively. So they didn't have to rely on their defense to have to stop them from scoring because they scored with 11 seconds left. I mean, that's huge. I mean, you don't see that often in a game-clinching TD in high school football that takes 5 minutes and 8 seconds. That normally doesn't happen. You only get a big play, missed tackle, then you got to hold on. No, they did it right.
And no, I mean, if you give Pierce the ball with 2 minutes, we could have been going overtime easy.
Yeah, easy. I mean, E.J. Smith had a big game. He had 147 yards rushing, 2 TDs. He's starting to find his niche in the offense. They had him a little bit at H-back early and all that. Now that's a serious weapon that they have there. And for a lack of a better word, the Fletcher Rosenbleef guy kind of reminds me a little Wes Welker-esque, a little bit. He gets the tough catches. He takes all the middle catches that, a lot of guys in high school sure as heck don't want to do. But he's fearless over there, and he made the great sliding catch on the 3rd and 8 to get him down to the 18-yard line. I mean, that was a huge play in that game there because they almost were out of field goal range if he doesn't make that catch. So, yeah, I mean, Coach Hickman, he's got those guys on offense rolling. I know he wants his defense to be better, but offensively, like you said, Randy, they can score just about on anybody.
Right. And Bo Brewer, that's a name that not everybody around the Metroplex has heard, but next year, I mean, everybody's going to know who Bo. He can run, he can pass. He was throwing dimes. I mean, there was some touchdowns dropped. There was some points left on the field.
He had 203 yards passing. He had.
But I mean, how many?
Rushing,
but I mean,
TDs in there,
could have had more. I mean,
yeah, I think. Well, Pierce. I mean, he's now their dynamic person that's in their offense. But Pierce is lucky that they're very blessed that they got a very experienced offensive line. 4 of their offensive linemen have started for the last 2 years for them. They got another guy that's got a little bit of experience that's in there on this side. They're going to lose 4 of those 5 offensive linemen next year, and that's going to be tough to kind of, overcome next year. But, yes, Bo Brewer is a guy that you all need to pay attention. He's just, a sophomore, correct? I think he's a
Junior.
sophomore. Junior? Yeah.
Junior.
He's a guy that can play. I think he can play at the next level. somewhere mid
Oh, yeah.
Division One for certain.
Well,
I think
it's in his pedigree too. You got
yeah.
I hate to say this to the Oklahoma guys, but I mean his granddad Charlie Brewer, All-American at Texas. His dad, Cotton Bowl
Charlie
Cotton
Brewer.
Bowl MVP
Yeah.
Robert Brewer. His cousin Michael Brewer played at Texas Tech and Virginia Tech. And then you got
We got
his
Tech.
cousin Charlie Brewer at Baylor now. Lake Travis, state champion. I mean,
Lake Travis.
there are some Brewer quarterbacks that have come through the pipe.
Yeah, I went
Yep.
to Texas.
But
Yep.
that'll
They're
be
almost got those
interesting. Sure,
bloodlines, the Matthews bunch.
Right. Lauren?
So which under the radar school do you think has a chance to make a run through playoffs?
I will go a different route here a little bit. I'm going to go with Prestonwood Christian Academy. They lose a tough game, 17-14 or 17-13, I believe it was, at Bishop Lynch. That is the defending champ. I think they're kind of under the radar screen a little bit. Their quarterback, Wiley Green, he can pitch and catch, throw it with anybody in the area. I think, that was a statement game they had at Lake Dallas a month ago when they went over there and slapped them up there in Lake Dallas. I think Prestonwood Christian Academy is a team to watch. I mean, to lose a close game at Bishop Lynch like they did before, you get them on the neutral site, everybody's healthy, that's a pick'em game. I think Prestonwood Christian Academy.
Look what happened last year with Dunn and Lynch.
Exactly.
It flipped at state.
Yep. I think that's just somebody that you need the war. Look in the. I mean, the thing about it is Wiley Green replaces the all-world quarterback MJ Rivers, who goes to Lone Star this year. Illinois recruit who's going to Illinois next year, and they're not missing a beat offensively there at Prestonwood Christian Academy.
Not at all. Okay, pick 6.
All right, let's do it.
Argyle Liberty Christian at Bishop Lynch.
I'm going with Coach Fawcett. He's my favorite. Bishop Lynch.
Grapevine at Colleyville Heritage.
I'm gonna go with Joe Willis's bunch, Colleyville Heritage. I think they're 6-1 in district. They're rolling pretty good, and they're kind of under the radar screen a little bit too. Not many people are talking about Colleyville Heritage, and they got one of the better names at quarterback, Jagger LaRue.
And overall, I think they've probably played a little tougher schedule.
Yes, I think so also, yes.
PCA at Bishop Dunn.
Oh, of course. Prestonwood Christian Academy. Love what Coach Cunningham's doing over there. He just keeps reloading.
Lamar at Bowie.
This was a tough one for me. I really didn't know. I'm going to go with Coach DeRay's team. I'm going to go with the Vikings. Their sophomore quarterback, Jake Dawson's done well. I think he pulls it out at the end in a very tight, even by maybe 1 or 3 points. The Vikings.
Duncanville at DeSoto.
Do not go against the state champion, people. Not until somebody knocks them off. Go with Coach Peterman. The most maligned coach to ever win a state championship, Coach Peterman. I'm going with DeSoto.
That may be true.
Duncanville's on the radar.
Trinity at Hebron.
This is a tough game here, too, because it's a battle of Trinity's beef up front against that dynamic offense of Taylor now, who's added a new feature to them. Jalen Taylor, I mean, he's been rushing the football for them, so it's just not Mitchell, Toon, and Bridges now. When you can be able to rush the football a little bit there, that's hard to defend. Worried a little bit about Hebron's back end because their defense front four is pretty good for them. But I'm going to go with Hebron this year to beat Trinity to set up maybe a possible 3-way tie if South Lake Carroll beats Hebron 2 weeks down the road. So then you're talking about point differential. And boy, Randy, that's our wheelhouse, point differential. That's back in the day determine who went to the playoffs and who stayed at home.
Yeah.
Right. When there was only one team, yeah.
Honestly, a Friday Night Lights.
Yes.
All right, I got to get my pick 6 before we get out of here.
Oh, by the way, one last thing. That's double sweeps. That's 2 brooms. That's 12-0 the last 2 weeks, baby. Yes, I'm up to 6.
What are you
I
talking
think you and
about?
Randy talking about the win.
What are you talking about?
Yes, baby. We're sweeping them boards.
Need to get on that.
Argyle Liberty Christian at Bishop Lynch. I'm going with Bishop Lynch, but I agree with Lauren. I mean, Argyle Liberty Christian has a good ball club.
Yes, it is.
Got a QB for sure.
Grapevine at Colleyville Heritage. Colleyville Heritage, I think big. PCA at Bishop Dunn. I'm going to go with PCA. I think Lamar's down this year. I'm taking Bowie. Duncanville at DeSoto. I've been saying Duncanville all year, so I'm going Duncanville. But that's a tough.
You're gonna be under the radar, Randy.
It's going to be 3 points either way is what I'm going. Trinity at Hebron. I'm going with Hebron because I don't think Trinity's faced a passing attack like Hebron has all year.
Our alma mater.
Oh, yeah, we got to say to everybody, Kenny and I are the only
they
two
all
that
picked
had
our
Newman
return
Smith last week.
on my screen.
Want to
But
remind you all of
Newman
that.
Smith, the Battle of Josie's. Back up
Yeah.
there.
Battle of
Newman
Josie.
Smith, green and gold,
Battle of
baby.
Josie Lane at the championship ball. Rests safely, and Coach Paul rests his office.
Got
Kenny
a
took
shot
a
at the
picture of
state
it for me.
championship at Carrollton. Beat Creekview last game of the year. We'll forget those other 8 losses.
Anyway, we want to thank Matt Gadek for coming on
Absolutely.
one more time. Great kid. I want to wish him success in the McKinney Lions going forward. And we'll all disperse out Thursday and Friday. And see you guys again next Tuesday.
Let's
Peace
do it.
out, guys. Enjoy
All right.
this weekend.
Have
All
a
right.
good
Bye,
one.
Lauren.
Good night.
Bye.
Fun.
Good night.